Falcha. This is SewBro, where we talk and sew. Anyway, I'm joined by my homie, Zach Perlmuter. Did I pronounce your name the last way?
Yeah, you did it right.
Cool. He is a phenomenal poet, writer, and DJ. Did I leave anything out?
Lover of life.
Yeah, When people see you, they just think this man radiates love of life.
Yeah, just positivity and
So,
scent.
how have you been, bro?
Good. Just, working, living,
Yeah?
creating.
I hear you've been doing some DJing. Well,
Yeah.
What kind of records do you like to spin? What kind of tunes are you sharing with people?
So we really like to do a lot of early reggae, ska, a lot of the 60s stuff. Shameless plug, 818 Reggae Soul Club, that's our thing. All Valley DJs, and we spin everywhere though. A lot of times in downtown LA at La Costeña, right next to 5 Star Bar. Check us out on Fridays. So we spin punk, we spin reggae, early reggae, ska, rock steady, all vinyl though.
All vinyl, no MP3s, none of that?
Nothing. Only on those black tortillas.
So you haven't always been into reggae, though. What was the first music genre you really fell in love with?
Well, the most of the reggae I knew as a kid was Bob Marley, and I did love Buffalo Soldier and whatnot, but I guess as a kid it was more punk rock due to my cousin. And he showed me early Anti-Flag, Bad Religion, Fear, stuff like that, and I was hooked. Plus Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks, shaped a generation.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater was the gateway for many punk people in the 90s and 2000s.
Oh yeah, and hip-hop too. A lot of good hip-hop. It'd be right there. Punk and hip-hop would probably be the two early ones for me.
Nice.
And of course classic rock, but that was just family stuff, hearing it all the time.
So, you mentioned Anti-Flag. What are your thoughts on Just Insane and the hurt and assaults he had committed on women?
Horrible, man. Canceled and rightfully so. He deserves it. Fuck that. I hate to even bring it up, but I only say it as a factual thing that was one of the early bands that really got that Die for the Government album when I was a kid. It was on repeat. But
there used to be a... No, you go to camera 1. There used to be a big Anti-Flag sticker here. Yeah. And then a comedian informed me of the crimes of Just Insane. And I was like, oh, really? And just quietly took the sticker off, but...
Yeah, no. That's a cancelable offense. Like he's done. He's done, rightfully so. I hope they get another singer and sing some of that stuff because it was a real good.
Yeah, taking them off of playlists and their patches off of jackets. It was rough, but
nah, you either stand for something or fall for anything, and fuck that. It's one thing we stand for.
Yeah. So, interesting fact, the comedian who informed me of these allegations beat a woman.
Oh, wow.
So I was like going, wow, of all the comedians to inform me of this.
Yeah, but he only beat him.
Like, it's just the foreshadowing.
Yeah, they probably met at the weekly meeting.
It's like, oh, so... Yeah, we were listening to Anti-Flag for different reasons.
Ridiculous. I hope he got canceled too. Fuck that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like Chris Dose, number 2. I love him. I hope he's doing work because so many great songs. And also I'm like, God, this is how Cosby felt because...
Who's Chris Dose?
Chris Dose, the bassist.
The bassist from Anti-Flag as well? Yeah. It was the singer and the bassist?
No, he didn't do... The bassist, Chris Dose, didn't do anything. I'm saying he's a great singer.
Oh, okay.
And I hope he's putting out work.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, and that was where I'm bummed, because it's like, sucks for the rest of that band. They're all talented musicians. And
oh, yeah, and they've been doing it forever.
what better place for a rapist to hide than in a far left punk band?
The farthest left.
Yeah.
The kill the government and fuck everything that it stands for fucking band. Oh, God.
Yeah, I was curious as to your take on that being in the punk scene.
Yeah, no, that was a hard one, you know. But fuck that, man. He's done, rightfully so. Fuck that. Any type of abuse like that, stomp that shit out.
Yeah.
It ain't no loss, you know. I'd rather not have someone like that in the scene at all.
Yeah, and it makes way. It's just, like, I was even thinking on, like, Van's Warped Tour, this couple got married, this couple proposed in front of Justin Sane, and I'm like, oddly enough, that's now the person you'd want your fiance the farthest away from.
Insane. Yeah, I remember seeing them at Warped Tour, I think in 2009 or 10, but at the time it was one of the bigger circle pits I'd seen.
Yeah,
and, they put on some killer shows, but
yeah, I saw them twice in San Francisco, and I fought for a set list.
That whole Warped Tour scene was sketchy as fuck, by the way. So, like, a lot of those bands that were on there, like, were doing sketchy shit.
Yep.
Obviously, the Casualties. Like, that guy was a complete monster. Bunch of other bands.
And then, I love all these, like, creeps and pedophiles in Warped Tour, and then you have, in that mix, you have, like, Bad Religion and Fishbone that are just like, we're really just trying to get the message out, actually. We're not trying to flirt with the 15-year-old.
Exactly. I fucking love Fishbone. One of the better LA bands, LA ska bands for sure.
Oh, classic.
Hepcat, too. Shout out Hepcat. Probably the best. Rest in peace, Greg Lee. Yeah, you know those guys are from the Valley, too.
Yeah.
Hepcat and all those guys, they used to hang out there. Yeah. How do you feel about Warped Tour coming back?
Cool. I think it... Like, I think it's needed. I hope it does well. For, like, skate and art and punk culture. I am also just... I hope they clean up the direction the screamo and emo scenes had gone in. Because I definitely think there needed to be a reckoning on some of the toxicity of it. And I also think a lot of it was a byproduct of corporate America taking the ethics and morality and politics out of punk and marketing the angsty rage, but then not refining it in a certain direction or ethos. And that left room for these more toxic people to capitalize on these heavy, emotional teens who are coming out to these spaces.
Not damaged people.
Yes. Damaged adults preying upon damaged kids.
Yeah.
And I think that there needs to just be find some way of, like, bands that are about cleaning up their act, about setting an example, still having fun, being cool and edgy, but not doing it in a way that, like, hurts people or manipulates girls. Because, like, in the, like, the Woodstock 99 documentary, they had the, like, lead singer Korn, and he was talking about just seeing all the women get groped trying to crowd surf.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
But just like, making it a safe and inclusive space.
Luckily at punk shows, you fucking touch a girl, most likely if it's not her friend that's punching you, it's either her or somebody else that saw that shit.
Yeah, but just I feel like
pretty good at enforcing.
Just
but not the bro-y punks. Like, you go to a Pennywise show or something like that, and don't get me wrong, I love Pennywise, but the fucking fans, a lot of them suck. You know what I mean? It's those fucking bros that you're like, you're not even a fucking punk, you just like this song. Whatever,
one song,
like that Beach Bro shit, and I'm just like, ugh.
Like they would be
but
in a surf. Like if this
girl.
were the '80s, they would be in a surf. If this were the '80s and they could surf, they would be in a surf punk gang.
Yeah, totally. A surf punk Nazi gang. Like, but yeah, you deal with those fucking drunk frat bro types, and yeah, that's when the bad shit happens.
So, how kind of a turn of direction of what got you into poetry with this punk and hip hop background. What got you into poetry?
I'd say when I was a kid, probably like 15, 16, I experimented with like LSD and whatnot, and I was always into music, loved lyrics, and I was always able to memorize stuff pretty fast, and especially when it came to songs and whatnot that I loved, I would just be able to memorize them within a couple days. But I remember taking some acid, and then I don't know, something just compelled me to rhyme, and I just wrote this rhyme. Still remember it. It's an old one, but yeah. Ever since then, it just boom stuck. But what really got me into formal poetry and spoken word and stuff like that was I was in school, in a continuation school, and we had these assignments where we were just able to turn in a full page of writing, and they would give us certain credits towards English classes. And when I was like, oh, okay, all we need to do is write a full page, and then I just would turn in like 4 or 5 a day, and then my teacher, she took notice and was like, oh snap, how would you feel about this? And then showed me a video of spoken word poetry. I think it was like someone reciting a Bukowski poem followed by their own poem, the Get Lit curriculum. It was one of those things, one of the classic slams. And I was hooked, and I remember I memorized Gangstar Moment of Truth and spit that in front of the school. And yeah, then we did the whole slam thing, we trained, went and did pretty well and caught some attention. And Diane's mom actually was the one who saw me and was like, "Whoa, you have to meet my daughter, this and this," and it was great. And yeah, started working with Get Lit. Story from there.
Nice. And was being a poet something you thought about before this, or was this new territory as far as thinking about directions your life could go in and crowds you'd be hanging out with?
No, it was definitely new territory because also I did a lot of emceeing and rapping, and I would freestyle a lot. That was kind of my thing. Me and my boys in high school, we would just skip class, go meet up behind the bungalows. Our school was 5 bungalows. That's like it consisted of that and like a farm that had like a llama, some pigs, and some like African geese. We had a great horticulture class, but so we would skip, meet behind the bungalow, and freestyle to whatever random beat. There was a couple people at that school that were really good at freestyling, and we would do it every day, all day. And yeah, so I got into that first. And I was always in graffiti ever since I was probably 11 or 12. So hip hop, graffiti, they go hand in hand. One of the, the 3 elements of hip hop.
What's the third now?
Well, I think it's DJ, like MCing. I think there's 4. It's graffiti and then breakdancing. I think it's 4 elements if I'm not mistaken, but yeah.
Now I'm just thinking of Avatar, the last MC, master of all 4 elements.
Yeah. No, that's what it was, yeah. Graffiti is a big part of hip-hop culture. But yeah, I did not think I was going to get into an artistic type of thing like that. I'm glad I did. I met a lot of great people. I was able to express myself in a time where I really didn't think I could. I didn't think I was capable of it. But with some great mentors like Paul Maybon and Matthew Cuban and everybody else along the way, And the great people I met. And the bad people I met like you. The terrible ones.
I am flattered to think that I'm the one who had the bad influence on you.
Not at all.
I was just walking the straight path, and then I met this fucking Irishman.
No, we never do paths.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very much like Foster's Home for Imaginary Poets.
Oh, yeah.
As far as
That's
just...
a good way to put it.
Yeah, just you were getting people from like every single corner, and then I think it was cool, like the little family that formed, and I I very much like you were the one of the few people from the valley, so I was like, oh, cool, you
Yeah.
kind of get it, and
There were a couple of us that we were,
yeah, and
proud of the few.
yeah, and you were also like one of the lone white boys in this very diverse group. So it was a bit of like, okay, someone else is getting an education in their privilege and background. And I I look back on those times with nostalgia. We were all very sad, high, very emotional and lost. But I think it was like seeing y'all was the highlight of my week.
Oh yeah.
And that it felt like we are with our poetry, we had this power and skill that we couldn't share if we were.
Bro, those Saturday classes.
Oh
Those
yeah,
are the best.
and then when we meet up, it was like, cool. Now we can use our full powers.
Oh yeah. Those are some of the best times.
Yeah, so with poetry, like, did you how long did you work with Get Lit?
I worked with Get Lit for about 8 or 9 years, going on 9. Starting off just performing at, blitz shows at high schools and whatnot. Ended up becoming a teaching artist as well, and teaching some classes. They had like a 14-week curriculum that they would install in English classes and anywhere from elementary, middle to high school. Did some of those alongside some great teaching artists. Paul Mabon, just one of the best. Matthew Cuban, Alicia Wise, shout out Alicia. Yeah, we did one in Canoga actually in the valley, and it was amazing. We had a great set of kids, and they ended up loving poetry. And Alicia is just an amazing educator, amazing person, amazing poet. And
she makes it look easy when it's actually really hard.
oh yeah, and her poetry is next level. She's no, she's one of the masters. Her and Cuban are just a power couple in every sense of the word.
Oh yeah, where it's like they're the deepest, the most profound, and then they have all of this love.
Yeah, and they're so about it.
Yes.
They're about it to the fullest, as much as you could be about it.
And they're not like those couples where it's like you see one person's really into something and the other person tolerates it. It's like they're both mutually excited about each other's work and about every opportunity each other gets, even though it may be an opportunity the other did not get themselves.
Exactly.
And I feel like that, and for a lot of us artists coming from our own various backgrounds, seeing a relationship that healthy is so important for us.
Yeah, and the longevity of their relationship, it's been going a long time, but they're both just great people, and I'm glad they found each other, and, great people to know.
Yeah, and also, we remember when they were dating.
Yeah.
And Cuban made the announcement, and he was like, shh, 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 and we're like, woo!
Oh, yeah, man. No, great people. But yeah, so then,
So did you keep writing, so you kept writing poetry after Get Lit? Was it nice not having to focus on planning a lesson or working with students? Or are you able to do some more mature, rated R poetry now that you weren't around kiddos?
No, it was, I enjoyed working with the kids, man. They gave me hope, They always, and it just gave me perspective, because at the beginning of some of, like, the elementary classes, I would think, like, oh, what does this kid have to say? You know what I mean? Like, they're young. Like, I know they have something, but I didn't think it was as profound as it was. And wow, it gave me a whole different understanding of the world, and made me think back to the times when I was a kid, and like, wow, like I did have some complex thoughts, but just a little less anxiety and trauma. But we were working with the Obama Turnaround Arts Program, so we were in real impoverished areas, like San Bernardino was one of them that we did for years. And did alongside Markeisha Babers, who is one of the best poets, one of the best people.
Shout out to
my best
Markeisha.
friend's sister. Love Markeisha. Yeah, we did years out there in San Bernardino, and then it was such a bad area. One day they came and they said, "Hey, we only have enough funding for one program, and it's either your guys' program or the anti-gang program." And
priorities.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they had kids that were in 3rd and 4th grade that were getting shot. You know, that was the initiation age. Like that range was between 3rd and 5th grade was their highest, the highest rate of initiation for the kids, and that was insane to me. I was like, what? But yeah, and then when Trump came in office, he cut a lot, if not all, he just gutted the arts, and I'll never forget getting that call, where it was like, fuck, he won, we're fucked. And then fucking sure as shit defunded that whole arts program. Yeah, and stopped teaching a little bit, but I fell off too. I was kind of I was being a little flaky near the end. I was just going through a lot as a person and needed to learn, more responsibility, and I don't know.
Yeah, and you were definitely in a tough situation. Like, you're in an age when most people are going to college and partying, like myself, and but yet you were taking on this responsibility of educating, being a role model, and that's not easy to do when you're at an age where typically people are knocking them back and thinking about the problems they'll be unpacking in therapy later.
Exactly. Yeah, it took me a while to kind of give myself a break on that. I was real hard on myself about that, but once I realized, I'm like, man, I was young, and it happened. All I can do is be better. But I do wish I did a couple things differently. But I'll never forget all the workshops and the classes and some of the best times of my life.
Nice. That is a great note to take a short commercial break. We will be right back after a message from these sponsors.
Tasty.
So before I forget this,
when I saw you roll up, I was like, all right, I'm out of culture.
Before I forget, let me get the camera. One. I'd like to introduce rapper and poet Atlas.
Woo! Yeah, it's Atlas.
We'll cut this in. We'll cut this in smoothly later.
I was like, bro, you gonna introduce me? We just yapped for fucking 35 minutes.
By the way, this motherfucker that just appeared on the couch is Atlas Speaks.
Yeah, it's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. People are strolling through the neighborhood.
Yeah, I've been seeing that lately.
The White House used it to make Donald Trump arrest a Latina in Studio Ghibli style, and then posted it to the White House main Instagram.
Sick.
I was like, bro, we're in the future, or we're in the past. Propaganda is prime right now, bro.
Yeah, it's like, brutal.
Bro,
I gotta be staying off that shit because I'm like, I can't even look.
We're literally going to be affected, bro.
Yeah.
You can't change whether propaganda affects you or not. You just have to not look.
Yeah,
you just
straight
literally
up, you
have
can't
to
look.
not look.
It's trauma porn. Like when they're doing the ASMR chain stuff, like, oh, you all are making festivities and jokes and getting off on these people's suffering.
Bro, you see this shit?
That's ridiculous. That's Trump?
I'm pretty sure it's an AI version of Trump arresting but it's like illegal immigrant caught for selling fentanyl. They're like, let's
when
make
does Trump wear a camo hat like that?
It's never happened
That's
before.
what I'm saying.
It's never happened before. But this is to
but
the
they
main.
posted it?
This is the actual, like...
And that's not a meme.
8.3 million. So this is...
That's not a hack?
No. This was like, this is still on the... I'm saying, I'm actually serious, bro.
What?
I thought
you said it was a hack.
No.
No
It's been on their page for like a while now. And they've continued to post. And are still post. Like, it's just part of their, like... running thing, and
that's so sick.
And it was linked, and it's a screenshot of a Twitter post that they made. So they like posted it on multiple platforms.
That's
shit.
Disgusting, dude.
Absolutely, on every level, on an artist level, on the like AI level, on the fucking.
That is just ugh.
On a propaganda level, and then that's just like, it's crazy to think that's our actual reality.
Yeah,
like that's right now.
That's the government.
That's right now.
Yeah,
that's some fucking fucking.
That's some dystopian
Cold War.
shit.
That's some
what I'm
Cold
saying.
War era shit. You know, in the Hunger Games, how they always try to like make it look like the Cold War.
Yeah.
And like, you know, all those dystopias, they're like, okay, yeah, propaganda, posters, loudspeakers, and shit like that. No, it's gonna look like memes, bro.
It is.
It's gonna be fucking memes, and then it's gonna become so commonplace because, bro, even our president posts memes about AI versions of you fucking up immigrants. So that's like, what? That's the precedent? Like, the president literally setting the precedent of that is crazy. You feel me?
Bro, it's fucking nauseating. Like,
you saw that shit, right, Shannon?
Yeah. I'm in this kind of gray area of I cut myself off when I get near to my breaking point.
And this is real fucking close.
No, I say this.
This is real fucking close.
Like, my point being, and whether it's with like organizing or with art, when I'm at my limit where I feel my expression doesn't mean anything anymore, I've tried a lot of options, or I need to walk away, or I'm frustrated with the people I'm doing it with, because that's kind of where I've been at producing a bunch of shows. Felt like I exhausted my resources and opportunities. As an organizer, I needed space, need to let people process and reflect on what had happened and what we had learned. And it's so easy to get overwhelmed with all of the news and all the content. I'm very selective about how much I intake at a time. Where it's like, is taking in this knowledge new, or am I just reiterating the same info from a slightly different platform with more or less the same perspective? And I try to divert my attention toward like, hey, I'm not allowed to learn about present history, but I can learn about ancient history because I'm not as emotionally invested in it, and there's not the same like anxieties in the present.
That's a cop out. I'm sorry.
Yes,
that's a fucking cop out. I can't lie. Look, you know me.
That's what he said.
I'm an ideological crash out. You know what I mean? I don't even
True hater.
Like people hate people. I hate ideas, concepts. You know what I mean? So like, for me to sit down and be like, let me look at something else because this is too much, is like, it's just madness to me. Because I feel like a visceral, physical reaction when I'm aware of a problem around me that's being completely ignored. Like, it feels disillusioning. It feels disorienting. It feels like I'm off the fucking cat. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I'm not even in this body. I feel like I'm in some whole other plane. I'm trying to say hello. Niggas ain't even hearing me. I scream for help. They wouldn't hear me neither. You know what I mean? Fucking, I feel alien in this skin. Type shit, dissociating, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking, I can't be sitting here consistently dissociating and do the things that I want to do. My main goals and deepest thoughts are focusing on my desires and drives. And that's like, it's very hedonistic in root. Like, if you describe it as that. If you're like, yo, you can't just focus on your desires. There's other things that are important in life. I'm like, cool, fuck all of that. I think that I like shit, and I think some shit is cool, and I think that the experience of driving your life towards something that doesn't exist that you think is beautiful, that is beautiful. I think that's like what people should be living for, whatever you're passionate about. You feel me? It's not about like let me get some sex, let me smoke some, you know what I mean? That's not the type of desire I'm talking about. I'm talking about like what actually drives you to like want to wake up in the morning and like focusing on that as your main fucking thing. You know what I mean? So for me, if there's anything that's gonna push any resistance in the process of me making music, of me connecting with people and trying to open their minds into understanding the world as art already, you know what I mean? Looking at the world as a game, as the best and most perfectly built game that all these other games are trying to emulate, you know what I mean? You could sit down and have fun with one of these booty ass versions of it But then when you're in the real version, the one that we're fucking climbing up trying to get to, it's so stressful and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fuck all that, bro. We want to thrive. We want things. And the only reason why we hate is because we can't focus on our desire or aren't doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're unfulfilled.
When you're unfulfilled. That's literally it. And it's like, bro,
the only time you have time to hate.
Right? Literally, when you're unfulfilled.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, that hate comes from a need to fill your cup. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, actionable hate does fill your cup, fill you spiritually. Yeah. If you're hating correctly. Yeah. People just fucking just throw their hate around. Hey, you know what I mean? I'm just doing bullshit. You know what I mean? How is this actually actively helping the reason why you hated whatever you hate? Yeah. You don't hate something because of every dislike source from what you like and what you love. Every single one. Like, if I hate this flavoring because it makes me feel this way, I prefer to feel this other way. So you like this other way and you want to be here. Focus on being here. You know what I mean? So I'm like, with the hate, I'm like, bro, you just need to fill your cup up with the shit that you love, with the passions and drive that you need. You're on the lows right now, and that's why you a hater ass nigga right now. You know what I mean? Once you get full, if there ever is a point of fullness, you know what I mean? That's peace right there. That's peace right there. And so I'm finna hate until my double cup is triple full. Don't quote me either.
Nah, quote that shit.
Don't worry, it's recording.
Put that shit on a shirt.
I loved how you talk about using hate as a tool. Very Henry Rollins.
Who that?
Henry Rollins was one of the singers of Black Flag, and he said he had this speech, oddly enough, that it was a line from it. I'm not gonna quote it verbatim, but something along the lines of, like, I use my anger to get shit done.
Facts.
Like, my motto is, he goes, I wake up every day thinking, try to save the world or get eaten by an alligator.
Facts, bro. Just something gotta happen.
Well, you can hate. You know, that's not bad.
And bro, people do hate it. If you have anything to say to me about my fucking hate, that is a form of hate in and of itself, and I love that you hate the way that I hate that you love.
Oh my!
I'm just saying.
No, I have had that organizing where I'm like,
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to admit it to myself.
Whether it's like punk rock or organizing, I've had it in those moments where I'm like, you hate the same things too. Like,
I love when somebody
convince
me to hate something new. Yeah. I like that. I'm like, man, I haven't been.
So you're just like
this is, dude. What a lovely dish. You know what I mean?
Make you a PowerPoint.
Dude, I was partying with some organizers in the Bay Area. It was like 3 a.m. freshman year of college. I am gone. Like, I'm aware enough to know where I'm at, that I'm with good people, that I'm having a good time. But all of a sudden, me and this upperclassmen who are perusing the at-home bar overhear a conversation, and it's one of our friends who is still hitting her points verbatim. Sources, statistics,
right,
about, like,
that was just me in disguise.
Well, this was about corporate agriculture and, like, Monsanto, and this was 3 a.m, and we both looked at each other where it's like, what's happening? Oh my gosh, this is so cool that we're around smart people who are this passionate. Also, how is, like, we could barely have a conversation involving those topics, let alone hitting, like, those intellectual points where it's just like, wow, that's...
She's done it before. She's taken some speech and debate classes. Yeah, like, for sure. She was ready for this.
Yes,
she was ready for that one motherfucker to be like, nah, the corn ain't grown like that, and she's like, what?
Actually,
someone who can
I'm from Idaho.
I love people who can party as hard as they organize.
Facts.
Very much like, that's what I'm going towards. Where it's like, hey, we're gonna have our revolution, but we're also gonna have a great time while doing it.
No, and I agree. I think so. One of my favorite things is to get fucked up with the homies and just, like, yap about something really deeply profound.
Real yappers.
Like, I'm a true yapper and a hater, bro. Add that to my fucking occupation list. I wake up in the morning hating, and then I yap. Right after I yap, I rap a little bit, right? I might eat some, and then I go to sleep. You know what I mean? That's the true day of Atlas. You know what I mean? That's what speaking really mean to me. But no, I love just really getting into the nooks and crannies of a thought that you really don't need to, because there's a lot of things that we feel like we're obligated to do because it's urgent for our survival or self-preservation. I gotta figure out the bills because I need my house, I need my food, you know what I mean? But there's no reason for me to figure out why I was feeling sad when I heard that one song, and like why the color blue makes me feel this way. You know what I mean? It's not an urgent thing, but for me that doesn't mean that it's not as important. So I try to like take time to specifically yap. And it brought me to some like great shit just last night. Me and the homies were just happenstance both up at middle of the night. Fucking bumped into each other. I was like, shit, I gotta be up for another hour. Let's yap. We yapping and shit. And we breaking down different concepts on misogyny as two like male born people. Just not a conversation that's necessary at all. You know what I mean? Right?
It should be.
The reality is that it's not. And that was kind of what the conversation was about too. Is that like, bro, there's like inherent privileges that we just have. No, even just to like for me to put on this pink hat and have that mean something. You know what I mean? I don't need to worry about a lot because of who I am and how I stand in this world. You know what I mean? Trans people be getting like their ass beat down. You know what I mean? In the streets dead. You know what I mean? For trying to express their ideas on gender identity or sexuality or whatever the fuck, right?
Just express themselves.
Anything, bro. Yeah. And then for me, because I was born a man and I still look pretty much the part, I don't really have to fear for my life when I put on this hat. And that's a privilege by itself.
For sure.
You feel me?
100%.
And I was like, bro, that's like I feel like that's a level of accountability as someone removed from a marginalized group that you need to be able to take to be an ally to anybody else. Because we're all dealing with different marginalizations where we all have like a different set of privileges, our different class builds, you know what I mean? If this was a fucking video game, right?
For sure.
But we all have our different class builds, but to act as though we was all just the same nigga is like fucked up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's like that toxic positivity shit. Like,
yeah,
we're all the same. Like, nah.
We're really not, bro.
I know
and it's
you
not.
wanted to make it think like it's like, but not like.
And it's hard because, like, as a black dude, you zoom out and the microcosm for it in the black experience is like a white person who understands their privilege in, like, you know, legislature or something, right? Like, if you go to court or something, the way you get pulled over, right? Basic things, right? Fucking, but then they feel like hella bad about it. They have a whole term about it, white guilt, right? And it's like there's a line between guilt and accountability for privilege. You know what I mean?
You don't feel bad for it.
You literally don't need to feel bad for it. You know what I mean? You don't need to be sitting here like all trepidatious about whether you want to interact with that privilege even at all. And like always be thinking about it because you're already there. Part of accountability is understanding the systems that we're in.
It's you don't need to go spit on a cop or something.
You know what I mean? Like it's weird, performative the way that people like try to do it. And it's like deeper than that. You just need to be aware. And now, like with that knowledge, how do you move forward in your life? That's it. It's about intentionality for me in the very root. And I feel like intentional living is the only way to be an ally. Like you cannot be an ally unless you're actively trying to live intentionally, or else you'll fall into the circles that make you part of these systems that undermine other people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like it was the smallest thing. I was talking about, like, I say shoddy a lot, right? But I thought to myself, I was like when I say shoddy and I minimize whoever the fuck I was talking to or about to this one term that I use for like whoever the fuck, like that's only realistically exclusively reserved for people who are born as women. Like, is there no misogynistic connotation in that at all?
Probably.
There probably
Yeah.
is. Like, if you really think about it, even
Calling
if I'm
anybody
not
out their
using
name to a certain extent, you know what
You
I
know
mean?
what I mean?
It makes it less personal. Like, you kind of...
and it's like, if you
Just
put it in a
generalize them.
different tense, it's like an old dude who called every woman love or some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great. Or hun.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like, it's pretty much the same thing at the end of the day. It's just a different, like, colloquial term, like a different generation of colloquial term, but it's in the same positioning. And that's something that I partook in and still do because of culture, right?
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to be someone who's like actively working against the cultural norms, and then I'm caping for these ones that could be negatively harming people? There might be people who feel uncomfortable about that, about being called shoddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who feel objectified, even just in the process of it, because I'm bringing up a term that had been used traditionally in a different sense. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, just thinking about that shit just makes the only way I can now say shoddy after I thought about that thought, I have to be intentional and thinking about it because I've already had these thoughts.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's there. Yeah.
And I think that's what's important. Like, in the process of things, is not ignoring any of these stats and just you ignore the stats, you an NPC.
Yeah.
You just subject to your variables instead of aware of them, trying to push towards a different direction. You know what I mean?
No, I think I'm loving what you're saying, and I think it's awesome that you're this aware and that you're reflecting on this and you're trying to have these conversations, because I think it's a lot of dudes have these thoughts but are scared to bring it up. And I myself have noticed this, whether it's like with music or with culture, where you're so used to hearing words used in certain contexts, and it's always from like, oh, it's this cool rapper, it's this cool celebrity person. And I think being aware of it and stating your intentionality and that you're reflecting on it is huge, because I run this with Irish culture and the C word. Irish people are very progressive. They're not letting go of the C word easily. Like, and that is
that's not happening.
It's culture.
And that's where, but it's also the way an Irish comedian, Katie Boyle, puts it is, Irish people say the C word because their friend did something stupid. Americans say it because they hate women.
Literally.
And just the intentionality behind it and the history behind the culture using it.
But when you're saying it as an Irish person in America, and you know about the context, I feel like now, once you gain that awareness, you have to choose a different path out of intentionality.
First of all, I don't think you could say it without an accent.
No,
if
you
you
can't.
say that
If
shit.
you say it without an accent, bro, that's a fake.
That is a different thing.
That is
if
the
you
first
don't have
part.
a hard Irish accent when saying that, like, I'm not taking that.
But if you do have a really good one, I'll look at you questionably. But I'm not sliding you at the bar. You know what I mean?
It depends on who it's directed towards. Like if
Yeah,
it's
like
someone
if
in the group or something,
in the
or someone
group,
right
that's
here, I'm
different.
like, yo.
Yeah, because I've had that with motherfucker, where it's just when I stub my toe or I'm really angry, and
Yeah, motherfucker is weird. And it's like, it's very normal. It feels so calm because nobody has problems with it.
But when
like,
I'm saying it, I'm spelling it with a
trigger
U, not with
Well,
a
look,
no.
I think it's just like the mother is the build up to fucker. Like it gives you a second. You're like
Yeah,
motherfucker,
like,
and like that. They
linguistically,
emphasize on it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
cooked. You know
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
mean?
it's like it is like a well diagrammed volcano of a
Why
cuss
my
word.
mom texts me?
That's what it's about. It's like, yo, that's why it's weird. We should not be saying
That's
that
weird
shit.
as
That's
hell,
what
bro.
I'm saying.
What the hell, bro? My mom texts me just to be like, hey, don't make sure you never say motherfucker or anything like that.
Okay, just first of all, your mom called while we were eating. I talked to my mom before you came over.
We got some pretty healthy relationships with our family.
I know that. No, it's like
Healthy is a strong word. I can't lie.
Yeah. I'm like,
it's like
we have relationships.
Yeah,
That's
better than most.
you all have healthy relationships with your family, and you're all poets, right? Okay, one of these.
One of these is a lie.
Yeah.
One of these is a lie, or the poet's slightly mediocre.
Next subject.
That's- or the poet's like, what's her name? Rupi Kaur.
Oh no.
Fucking Milk and Honey. Rupi
Yeah,
Kaur,
yeah.
if you're watching this, I don't fuck with you. I can't lie. You're on my hate list. Once I crash out, I'm gonna have at least 113 reasons. You're probably like 4. Yeah, Milk and Honey. Don't pause that shit, Shane. No.
No, I'm just gonna. Don't mind me. I'm just changing the cameras.
Yeah,
Don't
bro.
you dare, Rupee.
I'm talking to you, okay?
Whatever happened to her? She fell off.
People got tired of reading like 5 words and calling it a poem, I guess.
Okay, leave Rumi out of this.
No. Stop.
Rumi?
How
Rumi?
dare you?
Rumi wasn't writing poems. That motherfucker just said bars. That's different. Rupi Kaur thinks she's saying whole poems and shit. Yeah. She'll stand here and have a reading of fucking 32 pages of tweets.
Look, here's the thing. People liked it. I just didn't think it was that good.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all. Personally.
That's it.
But of course, people liked it. Like, who am I to say that it wasn't good to somebody? You know. But I just was not a fan.
I'm gonna grind your gears right now, bro.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel about JCole.
All of JCole?
Okay, go on.
Friday Night Lights?
No,
wait, wait a minute. Nah. Friday Night Lights?
Yes.
You don't like Friday Night Lights?
Look, I have not gone back to listen to a single song off of Friday Night Lights in years.
Oh, man, too deep for the intro is insane.
Like, when was the last time you bumped that shit?
Like, earlier this year, but...
you gotta reach back months at least, bro. Come on.
No, for sure.
And it's like, I understand it and shit, but like, it's not even about J. Cole. It's about my feeling about idolism and the way that people interact with their celebrities that they're fans of.
Yeah.
I feel like J. Cole's fandom really fucked up the whole experience for me.
Made him look bad.
Everybody was trying to put him on this pinnacle of the rap game specifically. You know what I mean? And like in this like position that he wasn't even vying for, really.
They were trying to say he was the best, and then
he was also saying he was the best in a lot of his songs, but as like a bar thing. That's
part of rap.
Yeah.
I've said that shit. You said that shit, bro. Everybody who's rap has said that shit.
Yeah.
So I can't hate on bro for that alone.
No.
It's because people decided to believe it and then cape for him in conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
speaking on his name for himself. Like, speaking for him when he ain't even there on some shit. Like, he ain't trying to do that.
And then, like, the way that I seen, like, J. Cole fans interact with other media was with this, like, eye of critique that was deeply coded in bias. That was like, you're not this dude that I, like, know is on some other shit. So, like, it's almost patronizing to a certain degree. When you have someone that you're a fan of to that highest level, you patronize every other medium that you look at.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Totally.
And
you don't need to put the other ones down just to raise your guy up. Like, if they're dope, they're gonna stand on their own.
Exactly, bro.
Like,
exactly.
You don't ever gotta bring no one up if you're talking about that.
I don't need to say a thing about it.
There needs to be no comparison.
Pharrell and Chad, fucking NERD, fucking the Neptunes. Nobody ever has to be like, bro, Pharrell, man. That's what I'm caping for Pharrell today. Kendrick is the only motherfucker who said that. He said, hey, Drake, you're fucking with Pharrell? Fuck you. Right? In his song or whatever, right?
Well, look, man, Kendrick just took the throne because it was there for the taking. Like,
that
no one was doing
bro.
it.
That was it, bro.
And he was like, actually...
And back in the day, people used to, like, call me a Kendrick fan and shit like that. I'm like, bro.
Dude, after Good Kid, Mad City came out, I said you bish for 3 years straight. I couldn't fucking...
And you don't need to change your identity around him.
No, but he
listening to the art changes you, period.
Bro, Sing About Me, Dying to Thirst.
That's
like,
one of the best songs. That's just one of the best songs.
Yeah, I'm like,
and even the Art of Peer Pressure.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple
Money Trees, man. Like, look at all that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so songs like that,
it's
like
West Coast shit.
Like, those are classics and endlessly replayable, and I still do listen to this day, right? Yeah. Even Section 80 shit, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course, man.
But that doesn't mean that Kendrick, as a human vessel in this world, is an infallible entity.
Yeah, no.
Why am I over here, like, why would I put somebody else down even beforehand just because?
Yeah.
Just because Kendrick exists. That feels like insecurity.
Totally.
For like, that feels like that's what you feel like if someone else were better than you.
Yeah.
Bro, it doesn't even change your
don't even
reality.
Take it that personally.
Like, what the fuck? You might not even
invested in this.
You might not even see this person ever again in the entirety of your entire. We know too many people in this world, bro.
Yeah.
We were only built our brains to like know about 1,000 people or some shit like that. You know what I mean? The like people you could bump into while you walk around in like a fucking 30-mile radius or whatever,
shit.
Fuck, right? And I know like almost bro, I'm aware of the 8.5 billion.
Yeah.
It's too much for my mind to comprehend.
I've read a lot of names.
Yeah. Like, bro, think about football, like, fans and shit. Why you know so many random motherfuckers?
You know all 40 of them? Like,
and last names, bro.
You know the special teams coordinator?
And the year that was from 76, bro. Why are you bringing up fucking Charles Garthew III and his father? And they're like...
Because he can hit like no other.
You know what I mean?
That's the lame motherfucker.
I know people like this. Let them have it. They got other stuff that didn't get resolved.
I'm like, bro, but like you can remember all that, but you don't remember your fucking anniversary. That's just wild to me. You know what I mean? I don't remember like just
one's love and one's the anniversary. Like, come on.
No,
like,
for real, bro. Like it's hilarious to see where people's priorities are. But that's why I love being why are you sewing a kilt right now?
The podcast is called Bro.
My bad. I didn't read the name. I just watched the episode with Caleb. Yeah, that's just fun.
Sewing in the background the whole time.
Oh man, I listened to it while I was folding clothes and shit. You know what I
this
mean?
motherfucker's knitting.
This motherfucker.
So not a kilt. I'm working on an ancient medieval Celt cosplay, depending on the accessories and the pretentiousness of the history nerd judging the outfit. This is going to be my cape and cloak.
Like, that's a 13th century helmet. That's a fucking...
I was like, okay, I see that.
What are those?
You're the one selling the pack from the past, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're the time traveler.
You see the spears on the shelf?
Nah.
They're behind you. Yeah.
They're on top of the samurai swords.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, bro, I actually really do live down the street too. So
that's what I told him. I was like, yo, you know, he was right here.
No, we just found out because we bumped into each other by the fucking gas station. Bro was carrying a fucking, like, what was the flag he was carrying, bro?
It's right there.
Yeah, it was a Free Palestine flag on the longboard. And had
the
like
one with the Irish one too?
Yeah.
The double.
Yeah, there was the double one. And I was seeing it, I was like, that's too Shane encoded to not be Shane. So I walked over and I was like, bro, hey, it's Shane. Yeah. Yeah, so here we are.
Fighting the fucking fight.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
And that was just like pre-fire, right?
Yeah.
He's just walking home after the protest, all tired.
Literally, bro. He was just like finishing his day.
What protest? This is how I skate.
Nah, for real, he just be doing that. Yeah.
Is that how you skate?
No.
Oh.
Just be that, like
just eat shit.
The drag from the flag.
No,
bro hates aerodynamics.
Yeah,
okay, the flag, skating with the flag.
What type of balance you have? Where's he
skating with the flag. In my head, I'm like, Neo-Celtic.
That's what the little flags are for.
No,
that's what the little
flags
flags
are on your head or something.
But
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, Neo-Celtic skater cavalry.
The fact you could hit somebody with that stick.
These for the cameras. These are for peaceful purposes. Always. I
No,
would never
lying.
I would never
lying.
do anything violent. Now, anyway, I'm gonna cut the rest of this part out. Here's what it's actually for. So,
motherfucker think he's Sun Tzu.
How many times have you read that?
The Art of War?
Yeah.
Only once.
Okay, that's all you need.
That's all he needed. He's a real reader.
Yeah.
Real reading comprehension maxed out, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, Shannon. We've been yapping for a while now. You said you had some questions or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier we were asking Zach about his artistic journey. So what came first for you? The poetry or the hip hop?
It was actually the poetry. Surprisingly enough, I didn't listen to a lot of hip hop until high school, which is weird for a lot of people. I just didn't have many friends to like be showing me the new shit. You know what I mean? And I would be just in the car with my African dad and my mom from Jersey.
Just like Fella Cuddy.
Yeah. And then whatever my mom would play. And that was all I got until I like got a phone.
That's dope.
So it was lit. Yeah, it was like the hyperbolic time chamber of just like good music with culture though, like culturally toned good music. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't until I was like failing the fuck out of English and I needed to do the spoken word slab team for extra credit that I started writing poetry. And then in the same year, just after that, because I met some like rapper people through that process, that I was like, this is another form that I actually feel like more attached to. You know what I mean? So it was real happenstance at the end of the day. It wasn't ever even like a desire or goal. I always wanted to be a mad scientist, like just one of them motherfuckers with lab coats that's just like pouring shits into each other.
Make it Frankenstein.
Whatever the fuck, right? That was my childhood dream, you know what I mean? And like, it seemed a little difficult, so I don't know if I'm still trying to do that.
You can do it. You're a smart motherfucker, man. You have good grades.
I like stoichiometry. I didn't have good grades in English. That was the problem. Yeah. Everything else, I was chilling in, but I failed English every year because I refused to write essays. And that was like the whole thing in English.
Yeah, just from a pure refusal.
7th grade on, I just could not pass English because I was like, bro, I'm not getting past like this first paragraph. I'm like, what do you want from me? You want me to what am I talking about right now? You know what I mean?
But now you just write verses like there's no tomorrow.
Now I just can't stop fucking talking.
Yeah.
But a big part of that is that like I didn't understand the way that I thought and that it was different than other people before I was entrenched in art. Because art is the expression of thought. It's trying to get as close to resonating with that internal feeling that you had and sharing it with the world in a way. Trying to like make it manifest, make it tangible for someone else. You know what I mean? So when I got to that point, I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing. Let me look in and see what I'm trying to communicate. I don't got a fucking voice in my head. I have zero internal monologue. And I can't visualize.
Really? You have zero internal monologue?
I have zero internal monologue and I can't visualize. Yeah. So yeah,
that's a blessing.
My internal monologue's commenting on the absence of your internal monologue right now.
No, so like literally,
mine is like a clapping fucking circus monkey, you know, with the cymbals. Like,
I'm just picturing you in a circus monkey costume,
or someone screaming in a corner. Like, it's just like, ah!
It's also another you in the corner screaming.
Yeah.
And so like all of this that y'all are talking about, for me, it sounds like a superpower to be able to see that. Cause I literally all I have is like vibes. All I have is experience and physical sensation for the most part. Sense as well. But like emotional feelings connected with experience.
What are your thoughts like?
That it's like so that's still the hardest thing to be able to explain. It's like the actual way that I experience my thoughts. But it's not visual. I have to delve into this ocean of emotion, of this like feelings and like internal experience that are spurred on because of like physical sensations, smells, touch, sight, things like that, right? And it creates this like rippling swirl of colors and fucking vibes, right? And they affect me, right? So that was just the experience for the long time. But then to reflect and understand what that means, I have to be able to read that. I have to be, and it's impossible. There's no words that I could really do to just connect that myself because that's not how I feel. So it wasn't until I had enough context, I had to live long enough to see these different experiences reappear or things that were similar to them and be able to reference my past. The last time that I was in this fucking pool of emotion was this experience. So that might be specifically grief about loss in this meaning, right? You know what I mean? And it's like just this consistent game of reference that I had to build up the bricks of for myself. But because of my differing path, it made me so intentional and particular about the way that I communicate in words. Because I had to analyze the source fucking primordial thought before language, this pre-Babylon shit or Tower of Babel type shit, you know what I mean? And I'm the one who's transcribing it into words. There is no voice in my head that's choosing the words to say. I've never been whispered a bar for me to say. I am crafting it. I'm looking at the swell of emotion and experience and deciding what to facet to it. And I feel like that level of intentionality is what lets me rap these bars that like other people are like, what the fuck? Off the freestyle? I was like, yeah, no, I'm looking at the shit and I was like, it needs to feel like this.
First of all, these motherfuckers do not know about how many hours was also spent freestyling. Like,
bro,
that's like the
you had to
realest shit. That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
Like,
you had to train that
thousands
shit.
and thousands and thousands of hours, bro. Years of daily freestyling.
And it's not even it wasn't even about the songs, bro. It was like literally just spitting, bro.
Just doing it on a beat. A bunch of circle of people, some doper than others. You know what I mean?
And that's it.
That's what it was.
That's just what it was.
But people were just down.
And people are just so removed from that experience of actually training through, like, understanding what's going on in your mind, and then consciously and intentionally choosing what to say.
Exactly.
That's what rapping really is, bro.
Yeah.
People fumble upon their communication all of the time.
Like you said, they're not being intentional.
They're not being intentional.
Like, the
to
only
be
way
a
you're
good
doing
rapper
is
is
because
to
you're
be
questioning. You're like,
intentional.
oh shit, should I do it? Should I not say it? Like,
Facts.
choose what you're gonna say and fucking say it. You know, that's the way. Yeah, with freestyling, you can't stop.
You can't, bro. The moment that you lack intention or that you doubt your intention, is when you fuck up the freestyle, because you're bound within meter, within time. But the whole like analogy for that is that's real life, bro.
Yeah.
We are creatures who are bound by time, bro. We age. Time moves on. The planet's spinning. Fucking the whole galaxy's spinning. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do? You gonna stop rapping every time you feel some type of way?
Yeah.
You gonna stop fucking living every time you have some type of disturbance or obstacle? No. Say what you mean because you're a good translator. Because you've lived your entire life learning how to describe your emotions to yourself, let alone to other people. That's how we craft identity, is being able to understand that internal world and then give true names to what that means, to what do I stand for. You know what I mean?
And really stand for it, though. You
and
know,
like
a lot
really
of them
stand
are really
for it.
just
and
like
really stand for
will back down from it.
Because
Like,
people think they standing on business. You don't even know what your business is, for one. So how do you know you're standing on it? I don't trust you to stand on business. You might be.
You might be standing on someone else's business. You know?
Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? You couldn't tell me. You know what I mean? That's why I say, like, you really gotta, you gotta keep an intentional group around you.
Yeah.
It's you can't be fucking around with people who are moving frivolously, because they'll make you move frivolously. You can't just sit there subject to whatever.
Yeah, just to the elements. It's like,
I mean, you just sitting there out there in the rain.
You gotta have some type of plan. Like, what are we doing? What's the goal? What is the next goal?
Just choose
small goals that don't even gotta be the fucking biggest thing in the world. But it's like, what are we gonna
now.
accomplish today? What are we gonna do? Like, oh, you want to do that? You want to do like? No, I get you, man. That shit will drain you being around like someone you're just like, oh, I guess we're just kicking it and listening to music and drinking again or something. Like, I don't know, like
what else are we doing?
We're not making plans. We're not talking some cool shit. Like, we can
literally
this
is a filler episode.
Something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, you could remove this and the plot would be unchanged. Like, it had no effect to anything. It was only affected. This is a fucking dependent variable.
Oh, yeah.
People are arguing on Reddit about why you existed today.
Me?
No, I'm saying with like a filler episode.
Atlas?
No,
show me.
Yes, ending your filler episode.
No, no, literally. Yeah, that's a random filler episode, right?
Because thanks to filler episodes, Naruto fans have to fight each other.
Facts, bro. And they're fighting over shit that didn't even change the plot, bro.
Yeah.
And there's a metaphor there, bro. I have a new motto or a new catchphrase. This is a lie. I don't have any catchphrases.
He has a lot of catchphrases. Don't listen to him.
I have so many that none of them actually work as catchphrases because I never repeat them. I'm just saying something new the next time. But zoom out and wrap around.
Okay.
Right? Zoom out and wrap around. Right?
How would you say that? Like, in what?
Like that one battle rap verse where it's like, I wrap around when I rap around. You ain't seen that shit?
I don't know.
I gotta put you on. It's the funniest fucking battle rap verse of all time. Like,
I'm done.
Well, you.
No, not with the episode.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you should do a spin.
Sick.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Deer antler
With buttons, yeah.
Deer antler buttons, ethically
You know-
sourced.
Deer antler buttons.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
some white shit.
That was some. I can't lie to you, bro. That scratched the fancy in the Irish part of my brain.
Yeah.
You know my
No, the
grandma,
good whites,
my
though, the
grandma
Irish. Yeah.
I fuck with the Irish.
No, I'm Irish too.
But yeah, it's also meant to be like worn out on the side.
I fuck with that stylistically.
And
You
then
look
they
like
can- and then I
Solo
can-
Leveling
and-
motherfucker.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
farmer for
Sung
no
Ji
reason.
Woo.
Yeah,
And I can show off the tattoos at the same time.
Right. Which is Celtic in nature. It
Yeah.
seems, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Very, like, anime-esque with the cloak blowing.
But you do have a beret on type vibe, like. Wait, no,
Like-
that's like a.
Greek fisherman's cap, something like a 90s version of a
That
Greek
was
fisherman's
not what
cap.
I was gonna say.
You gonna give me 1,000 guesses? That would have never been it. I would have said like a
like you was reading
like
the
a
word out of my
Tunisian rock
mind. Bro.
climber's cap before that. Like, I'd be like, what?
That's
That's
hilarious,
sick.
bro.
That's how you know he works in costume design.
Nah,
He
facts.
knows
He
the
knows the
technical
exact
term. He's
thing,
like,
bro.
yo, that fucking
Oh,
hat.
no, I have that a lot where it's like, can I use the actual word or do I have to dumb this down for the professional?
For me, you have to dumb it down, bro. You just gotta call it a hat.
Yeah, that would have.
We're all wearing hats, as
Yeah.
far as I could tell.
3 different styles. Like,
It's true. They're different styles, and that's as far as I'll tell you. Man. Oh yeah. So process to fucking music, stumbled into it. Next question.
Just so you talked about music, and this is kind of an open question for both of you. Who's your favorite poet? Like, if you had to name just a poet.
I don't really like most people.
what are we talking in the dude? Come on, man. In the formal sense, like
Like,
you
yeah,
know,
there's
the
a lot
written
of
stuff
people
or
in
the
the
people I
world,
know.
bro.
You know what I mean?
Like we're contemporaries with a lot of like professionals in their field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Alive, just someone who just does poetry. Because
Fucking
someone who just does poetry
that
that we
nigga
have.
Hanif. That nigga Hanif. Yeah. Every time I hear one of his poems, it moves me. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I can't say that for every poet in general, but traditionally, since the beginning that like I've interacted with poetry as an art form, like Hanif has been like something
He's
to
bad.
return
Yeah,
to
no, it's
every time. Yeah.
I think maybe.
What's his last name? Abdul.
I have no idea.
Shannon, do you know? Are you an ally?
Enemy.
Well, I feel like this is going to be the one question that gets me to lose my ally.
Yeah, this is the one. I'm gonna take it from you. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna bring it back to the union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think Leonard Cohen. Like he fucking wrote Hallelujah. Like
No, I
and
mean,
also that shit. Like,
No, facts. That's
or for the classical sense and my real start in poetry, maybe Maya Angelou. I read a lot of Maya Angelou and then her fucking.
You know, actually, hot take. Toni Morrison,
Oh yeah. Okay.
novelist, right? But the way that she engaged with prose felt like page-to-page poetry that was consistently within the theme of a novel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could zoom into any specific paragraph and it'd be a stanza of poetry in and of itself. You know what I mean?
Oh well, dude. Yeah, prose is so on par with poetry. It's like
Right.
it's pretty much so similar. And a lot of
just
poets
don't
write
do it
prose.
that
You know
way.
what I mean? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like people.
It's like a short story. It's a short fucking story. Like
The way that people actually like put their whole like pen into like writing a short story, I feel that Toni Morrison engages every page of a novel. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like we're deep within rhetoric. We're deep within figurative language and allegory, and you know what I mean, parallelism and thought, even in the way that the lines are spaced. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
The
Gwendolyn Brooks too. Like
facts, bro. Facts.
Sonia Sanchez too.
Like,
They get lit for showing me a lot of that stuff, but I knew Maya Angelou from before.
Facts,
like just personally, Ken Arkind, very punk rock
okay.
poetry. Cuban gave me. This was Cuban's homework for me when I was like 17. It was like Fight Club and Ken Arkind. and then he said, "Come back to me."
That's real. I feel like Ken Archon is definitely a great Shaman pick too. I love I've seen a couple of his like performances. I'm like, fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like also his like
Cuban was a
writing
big
style where
advocate
it's like
Fact.
he can write for the page in a way that you appreciate. That also even like you see like reading his poetry, even though it's a great performance, reading it to yourself is just
Right.
and that it's just you can read it from any background because it's all just very existential travel, like wander stuff. You don't. It's very open to interpretation and to seeing yourself through it.
Type shit. Like the subject matter.
Yeah,
shit.
of just about like relationships, and I like that there's that being poetry of an escape, where it's like
you love copping out. My bad.
what?
This is a pattern.
No.
Wait, no. But I forgot to describe why Leonard Cohen so much. Also, like a lot of I'm a big fan of formal poetry. I know it's like a lot of motherfuckers are like, but like, nah, man. There's something about like the freedom of not having to format your poem. It's already there for you.
Yeah.
You gotta fit it in between, and like
your art is how you can fit it in between.
Exactly.
Every
That's what I'm
time
saying.
that yeah.
I like those guidelines. Not obviously for
Not
the
to
entirety
keep
of poetry,
forever, or
but I
to
think it's in a
hierarchically place
great
above.
style.
Yes.
And it shows so many like it's just insane. But Leonard Cohen always has like he's almost always writing in rhyme, but the stuff that he writes that's like free verse is amazing too. But he's always writing like in song, and that's how I started too. You know what I mean? Always, like I was like,
still to this day, it's like with poetry, there people. I don't know how people can remove themselves from rhyming.
I remember the first time I heard poetry without rhyming, I was like, you can do that?
I was like, bro, you're fucking me up right now. I don't know what's going on.
Well,
you haven't rhymed once.
Yeah,
not even once. Not even a heroic couplet.
I feel like that's a flex as a poet, though, is being able to ride the syllable structure.
But I get that, but then it's also like, why have you foregone something as simple as rhyming?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what makes it so that, like, why have we created this hierarchical sense of what figurative language is more meaningful or can be more impactful? When really, like, maybe you just weren't rhyming well enough for it to have the same impact that internal rhyme. Because if you think about it, everything's fucking rhymes. Alliteration is front rhyme.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I mean? Internal rhyme.
Alliteration's just reverse rhyme.
That's literally it, bro. Like, it's all just parallelism is just rhyming ideas. You know what I mean?
I think it helps.
I'm giving like lukewarm takes right now.
No, they're real though. No, you know, these motherfuckers are afraid to rhyme. That's keeping it out there.
So I'm teaching a poetry workshop in April and a performance workshop. Shout out to Remedy Coalition, and I want to make a point of that. You don't have to rhyme, and I feel like there's times where I'm trying to get an idea across and. Yeah, rhyming's easier, but there's things I can do to make it more appetizing. Because rhyming's just makes it auditorily appealing.
Fuck that. Fuck that. No, because I think that more often than not, it's not that line of thought. It's that people are having a hard time finding a way to say what they mean and rhyme. So they choose not to, because it's easier not to. The easier thing is to not rhyme. Most of the time.
No, almost all the time.
Like literally,
you're not stuck to that form of having to find something, you know.
But you don't have the fucking lexicon to like fucking widen the way that you're looking at what you're saying. To say like, look, I could still be in concept and in thought with whatever I'm saying, rhyming with whatever phrase I need to, because that's language.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have to stretch it and fucking literally create a change and shift in language while you're talking. People will say a word slurred a different way, and that'll become a cultural phenomenon just because they did it that one time.
Well, clearly, it's one of the coolest parts of poetry, and it's one of the oldest parts. Like all the old shit too was rhyming too. It's like, come on, man, like you gotta.
It's honestly,
but I do enjoy the free verse stuff. Don't get me wrong. Too.
No,
like,
and
it's beautiful shit too. But it's like
because I'm from the outside looking at. We're both looking at the same problem from different sides because we have different styles, right?
Yeah.
I come from rhyming being like something that has been shunned, and like when I go to poetry, it's like, damn, I feel like because I rhyme, I'm like very different than everybody else here. You know what I mean? But whereas if you come to a spoken word poetry realm, like you'll be met with people who are not fucking rhyming. It sounds like monologues. It sounds like, bro, these people are
a lot of it is monologues.
They're in August Wilson monologue competitions. You know what I mean? That's what we got going on out here. You know what I mean? So I understand it, but I feel like the answer, we're not even arguing. We're saying yes and. Both of these things should not be mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You should not be forced into any type of formulaic regimen in general. But that doesn't mean that these formulaic regiments did not provide light and fun.
Exactly. It's fun. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. It's a fucking puzzle.
Like, to write a sonnet, to write a fucking haiku, to write any type of strict form and still say what you meant is like a freeing experience.
Yeah.
To actively break the shackles that were put on you through language alone, bro, you still said what you needed to say, and I understood it, despite it all. Isn't that what we're just trying to do every day? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, another question. Kind of a flip of this. Who's the poet you hate the most? Like Ruby a poet.
Ruby Carr.
Okay, you?
I can't even.
Why you look at me? You gonna?
No. I'm trying to. I'm like Atlas.
Atlas, bro.
Nah, bro. No, you know you're dope. But, fuck.
This motherfucking not
okay. You want to hear
mine?
Not
everybody's
do you want to cook on yours?
I don't even know. I don't pay attention. I'm like,
fine.
I look at the motherfucker I hate so hard.
Fine. Well, you think Edgar Allan Poe? He was a pedophile.
Oh, for them being a person, like a bad person.
No, just most people in the past.
No, his poetry. His poetry was overrated. His poetry was overrated. I think.
I mean, I kind of look. There was a couple of them.
There's some fucking Poe got some
like
bars,
it was
man.
like it was catchy, but it wasn't like you know what I mean? How like.
But what do you like, Elvis?
No.
Okay, he stands on it. Like,
yeah. No, because they pretty much spin the
same thing. You know, it's the same shit. It's the same. That's why, like, if someone's like, I fuck with Elvis, like his fucking wife was like what, 13 or something crazy, like.
Anti-flag, I don't care.
No, and look, I'm not gonna die in no hill caping for Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, not at all. I'm like, I didn't even know that.
Business. I'm not over here quoting the Raven. What was the one with the heart?
Yeah, and the floorboard. Yeah.
See, we don't even know the names. We just read that shit in school one time.
He forced his cousin to marry him.
We're aware, but so did like most of everybody in the past. Like overall,
it was not a good place to live.
Speak for your own family.
No, I'm not. I'm speaking literally away from my own family. But for history overall, I don't agree with the cultural practices of most of it.
Look, man, if we go far back enough, like people in our family beat women and shit. Like at least,
And
at the very least.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going far enough. You trying to stretch that shit?
Right.
I can probably
one.
I think about it. I'm like,
statistically, one person in that we are in the like immediately 3 to 4 branches of all of us. Like that's just
facts. Like at least, yeah. And those are the ones that we know about. You know what I mean? So I'm like, bro. I'm not looking towards the past for anything of like value for its inherent moral quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That if I were to do so, then I would have to discard most of it based on my own personal moral compass. I can't fuck with nobody from the past.
Yeah, like very few. Like 3 cats.
Like there's 3 dudes probably, right?
Hey, they didn't do shit.
It's because they died young.
I'm saying they got him.
My bad.
No, while we're just going through the questions, okay, what are your thoughts on the fascism that has been sweeping across America?
It been swept. America been fascist.
Yeah, that bro been going.
Thank you. I was in the same boat.
I've been fighting this shit forever, bro. What the fuck? People waking up today like, man, it sucks that in 2025 America became fascist. I'm like, bro, that's fucked up to say. I can't lie to you.
I mean, like, how...
You're out of your mind.
Right? I'm like, hey, do you remember when they were gassing the Native Americans and we had a black president? Like, and everyone was...
At the same time.
Yeah, and everyone...
Remember the drone strikes?
Remember the drone strikes that the black president did at the same time? Fucking A, bro. And it's like, yeah, bro, I can't. That's why I'm anti-system. Anything that was already built, I can't fuck with. Like, I just can't fuck with.
Well, yeah, it's
like,
it's fuck the government. That's just what it is.
That's what it is. Every system that was built,
all the government
was not built for a reason that I agree with. Yeah. And it's not that we should, like, because it has done certain things good, quote unquote, right? We should keep it but modify it, right? It's like, no, look at the harm that it's done and the intention that it was made for. And we have other options that we could explore.
Yeah.
Fucking destroy the past.
Yeah.
I think that you should question culture and then destroy it consistently because it was going to deprecate either way. As time moves on, culture consistently evolves and changes.
Essentially, it's like, yeah, you're still spouting the same thing from thousands of years
ago. From thousands of years ago, but at least choose what the fuck you kept.
Yeah.
Instead of being part of this fucking wave that's washing sand deep into the ocean again, right? You just, whatever was left, right? Fuck that. I'm not okay with just what's left. Every culture is eroded. It's not even what it was for the people that you're looking up to. You know what I mean? So it's like, for you to actively be a part of culture, you have to question it. That's the only way you can bring intention into it.
And adjust it. You have to, like, you could keep to the point where you're like, hey, this is our history.
And that's okay.
This is who we are now. Like, we're not
going to choose based on that history as our informed experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to question the culture to let it grow into something more beautiful because of the things that you love from culture. Like, as a black dude, bro, a deep part of black culture, homophobia, deeply rooted, right? Just kind of just basic, right? Even like in like a like socially progressive two black people couple, if they find out that you're like bi, that's kind of like a red flag. Like, I might, like, you know what I mean? It's just a whole different thing, right?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And it's like that's just part of the culture, and it's based on like Christian shit that was based on fucking missionaries,
abomination bullshit,
colonization and shit. You know what I mean? So these things of your culture that are just part of your culture aren't even fucking part of your culture. For one, they just are now, and they don't have to be. What do you want your culture to be tomorrow? If you had the decision.
And you do, because you're doing it. Yeah, like, you're living.
The fact that you're alive means that you have a decision on the way that culture will be practiced tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every day.
Your interpretation.
Every single day. Yeah.
And that's why there's people like you changing it.
Got to, bro. Got to. People like us, for real.
Yeah.
Changing it together. We still got songs in the vault.
Bro, we ain't even started. That's the way I look at it. I feel like we got through the crazy. Like, I feel like I'm barely waking up as a person.
Crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
Like, all the shit we did as a kid, I was like, yo, this was me running from a lot of shit and not being able to really sit there and like, focus on, like, why am I acting bad and, like, or why am I reacting and
why am I
being frustrated with myself. Yes. Exactly, being reactive. Yeah.
Because it's like, if you are reacting, you can't be intentional.
Yeah.
Your action is
waiting for them. Yeah.
You got to. You know what I mean? And it's like, now that we're sitting here with the space to act for the first time, for real. That shit is like a brand new chapter, a brand new book. It's the start of the book.
Yeah. Everything
else was prologue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That well said. That was kind of, I was getting that similar energy. We had David Robinson Hicks on the show. And that sense of like recharging, taking the energy and the lessons you learned from before and realizing, oh, we're not out of the game. It's now our turn to be the mentors, to step our game up, to provide the vision, the knowledge, and the support so we can go forward.
Right.
And I love hearing that energy and that attitude, because I feel like that's what's needed now. We've seen it from all the high schoolers doing the walkouts, from from the college kids holding it down on the campuses with the encampments, that now it's time for the artists to normalize these discussions and to set the bar of like, no, we're not going back in the ethos at all. This is the bare minimum when we have these discussions, when we talk about what's going to happen in the future.
To involve yourself in the problem is the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You got to be there for it. If you wasn't in the field, if I didn't see you in the trenches, you are literally not existent in this.
We remember everybody who wasn't there in 2018. You remember all you motherfuckers.
And bro, the way motherfuckers be active today is like fucking sad. I can't lie to you, bro. The lack of organization, the lack of central focus and desire, fucking mission statements, directive goals, deliverables.
Look, it's insanity. It's doing the same thing and getting the same, expecting a different result.
And
I
thought we already learned these lessons. I thought that was like what we were doing different than the past that we came from. You know what I mean? But it's cyclical. It's cyclical. It's like we have to forget, and then there has to be another like upsurge of people who like stand out and actually organize. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're lacking organization again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like people want to do more, but doing more means putting yourself in hotter water, and then that's where you get people hopping out of the pool. Because
that is what it means, and you have to be okay with that.
Well,
it depends what you really want to do.
Well, I think
there's only so much you can do.
A good organizer utilizes where the most amount of people for what they're willing to do. And I feel like right now, and this is kind of why I was like walking away from organizing for a little bit, was I jumped back in after the fires happened, and that actually was super heartwarming because a lot of the people I was seeing in my volunteer work I met through the Palestine movement.
Right.
And as the fires were ripping across the cities, in all of that stress, when we saw, there's this moment of me and these other activists and organizers saw each other, and we smiled, and it's like, okay, we got a real one with us, both of us. Like
I see you again.
Yeah,
in the same fight.
Yeah,
and I do fuck with that.
And that was where it's like we already knew we could rely on each other, and we knew that we were in it for other causes. So it's like, oh, you see the bigger picture, and you understand what kind of a situation this is.
Right.
And that's where like I was like helping out coordinate like distribution, because it was like, oh, you know the game. Like, this is where we need someone who's experienced and also like just capturing that anxiety and being like, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to help.
Right.
Because there was that, we had a lot of people showing up, what can I do? And it's like, okay, here's A, B, and C.
Deliverables.
Yeah,
actionable steps.
And giving them
actionable
options because...
steps.
And I feel like right now a lot of people are just recharging from everything.
That's part of the problem. People burn too hot. So now they're like, you have to know when you need to leave the encampment in general.
Yeah.
You have to know for yourself for longevity. Because we need you in the movement tomorrow, too.
It's many rounds. It's not like you give it all that one round. It's like, no, you got 10 more rounds right now. Like,
so
what are you going to do?
People burnt out so brightly in round 2 to 3.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, now the resistance is bleak in round 7. We're crippled.
Yeah.
Because people are fucking arrested. People are tired and fucking burnt out just emotionally. People have to go get a different job because they lost their job because of what they did in one of them. Mm-hmm. So now they have to get back in payment, so they're not able to go to the next fucking protest, right?
Not able to live.
You know what I mean? Because they have to think about living as well. And that's part of what the system is doing to try to minimize what we can do. That's one of their tactics. You know what I mean? So like part of fighting against that is caring for yourself. And understanding when to take a step back and like when to change what your angle is in the movement. Not to leave the movement.
Never leave the movement. Everybody has a purpose in the movement. That's what people don't understand. It's like
there is a place for you no matter what your
spread information. You could do something. You can fucking do one thing that'll make it a little fucking better and easier on other people.
It might be needed.
It is needed. It's always
sometimes
needed.
there might not be anybody else doing it right
Exactly.
now.
Even if it's such a small thing, some people are like, "Oh, what can I?" No, spread information. Go hand out a pamphlet. Go do something.
You might be the only person that can share this information with this one person you bumped into.
Yeah.
That will come through and bring this other one person that brings this up.
That's
Bro,
what I'm
that's
saying.
how
Before you know, it's a
unity
chain reaction.
That's it. That's how unity works.
Yeah.
Wait, Shannon. Before the next question, do you own a bathroom?
Yes.
Can I use it?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
You go to the.
No, I'm saying like at my place.
What? You can't just not say nothing. Like, nah. Don't walk out on that. Your place what?
Yeah.
No, I was just looking at some sad poetry. I was like,
Just straight.
I still got shit from
bawling.
back in like 2015 on there, 2016. Ridiculous.
Just in the vault,
Painful.
bro.
So, question for both of
You
you:
didn't know about love.
if worse comes to worse, what country are you going to flee to?
I'm just look.
Or are you gonna stay out here and ride it out?
I need to stop myself from saying stupid shit. I'm not
Say
Nigerian.
it, say
I'm
it.
Nigerian, so I was like, my people died in the oceans instead of suffering bondage. Okay, we jumped into the waters. Okay, so Atlantis. All right. You think I'm going to another country with some other system that's just as fucked up? No, I'm fighting this shit out here, or you're gonna push me off the coast. You know what I mean? You can push me into the drenches, into the fucking lava flows, and I'll still be fucking fighting tooth and nail to change it right here, because everything matters, bro, to somebody, right? So this has to matter to me. For everything to matter for somebody, this has to matter to me. This has to be ground for me to stand on, because it's my business. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This is RLA, motherfucker.
Like,
you ain't taking that. Like,
Zach, you have a country you're gonna flee to, or are you gonna stay here and fight?
You got a country.
yeah, what? Like, you know, like, okay. Oh no, don't worry about it.
But no, part of like also that question is like, if that's a place where I'm gonna flee to, I'm not gonna tell y'all niggas that, like that. I'm not.
For
gonna
sure,
tell
I'm
y'all,
fleeing.
Yeah.
I'm fleeing.
That's the part of the flee. It's
You're
escaping
so
from-
serious you don't want it on camera in case.
Yes. What the fuck? Specifically on camera.
Yeah.
Cool. That's even cooler that you're like.
I'm going to the uninhabited parts of Canada.
Like, wherever the fuck you can't find me. So I'm not gonna tell you where it's at.
See, I love the irony for me of an American going to Ireland because they're starving in America. Like, I love
Reverse famine, Lord.
Yeah, just like, listen.
They had a famine. We have food swamps.
Yeah.
All you can get is Jack in the Box tacos. That's it.
Ugh.
That's it. That's all you got.
Okay,
No, I don't
so
want to hear it. No.
since you decided to stay and fight, here's my next question: what would your last meal be? Just
You can choose your last meal in a different. When you're at war, you don't get to choose your last
no,
meal.
I mean like your last. Oh, you meant it. Oh, I meant like I was
When
implying
you're
like
at war, you don't get to choose your last
I was
meal.
implying execution, but
You're not gonna catch me.
like you know like when
What
you're
did
on
we
death.
do?
How bad did I lose,
Yeah,
bro?
that's
What
what
the
I'm saying.
fuck?
Like, you know, when you're on death row, your last supper, like that's.
I don't know.
I don't know what I was on. No, for real. Look, okay, I understand the question now,
Yeah.
but like, it's not the same hypothetical. Because in the hypothetical of like, if they're pushing me towards the coast and then like, is it fight or leave? I'm fighting. I'm not fucking getting captured immediately and being put for execution. That's just not in the plots.
No, we're dying.
We're dying in battle, Valhalla. You feel me? Like, I don't know.
He's going to Valhalla. This was the biggest twist ever. He believes in fucking Viking heaven. Nah. Nah. That's fucking.
Nah, son.
Come
Like,
on.
I'm just thinking of.
there's no prisoners of war for Valkyries. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
Right.
Okay, so I admire the dying in battle, but just play along with my stupid
Yeah,
question.
okay.
If,
So,
what would your last... Just, and even forget the
if
whole
I were
execution.
on death row, what
No,
would my
just
last
forget,
meal
like, the whole... Yeah.
be? Yeah, I get the question.
Say.
If I were on last... So, it'd be like a pound of sour candy. Just
So
realistically.
you're not trying to make the cleanup crew suffer, is what you're saying.
Oh, is this like a deeper mental question? Like
No,
it's a meta
no, because
question? Like,
some people have been like, oh, I want something that's going to make me poop a lot. to make the
Sour candy make you poop if you eat a pound of it. That's coming from experience.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
banging the porcelain, bro. In that, yeah.
Have your stomach making ungodly sounds.
Ungodly, bro. Yeah, the porcelain was holy. I wasn't. Okay, slapping the porcelain.
Like it was,
That means you're sitting on the toilet, the porcelain throne, and you. That's what slapping.
What I want to say is steak, wings, and pussy, but what I'm gonna say is steak and wings.
Yeah, that was a euphemism for
okay,
shit.
how is that?
Yeah.
Steak, wings, and pussy sounds like a patch on a biker jacket.
And it is.
I'm sure somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. Debate me. Like, find every biker.
Tell me it's not.
Find every biker to prove me wrong.
So, somewhere in this country, that is a license plate frame.
For sure.
At least, at most, somebody's bio in their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like at the very peak.
Have you met my 3 kids?
Bro, what's this hat again?
The question?
The hat.
The Greek fisherman.
Greek fisherman's cap.
Yeah.
Fire. I seen Bob Marley wear one of them shits.
For
Zach,
sure.
what would your last meal be?
I just said it.
Oh yeah.
Steak, wings, and pussy.
What'd you think that
No,
was?
no.
That's a meal.
Either
in
that
order.
or something Cajun. You know, I could go out with some smothered pork chops or something.
No, if I'm really about to die, I don't. So my game plan for the meta is that like you're not gonna have to deal with hunger, so you don't have to worry about satiation specifically. You know what I mean? Hunger is a thing for future you because you didn't eat now, and future you is dead.
Yeah.
And dead you does not have to deal with hunger.
Yeah, 30 minutes from now, you isn't alive.
It's not alive. That's the whole point of the question. Yeah. So I'm not eating something that's like just gonna fulfill my stomach specifically. I'm trying to get the peak level of taste and thing that I love the most, which is sour candy. Like there's very few things flavor profile wise that I appreciate more than a good sour candy. When I had sour sketty from Haribo the first time, and I was like, felt the texture. I was like, oh, the sour level. I was like, man, that shit gas. Somalia on that shit. You know what I mean? That shit was good. That's the way I live my life. I die that way too.
Okay, so
let them know.
I've had a few different answers to this question, and I'm always like answering it with whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Like if now was the time.
Like right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
barbecue
gallows.
chicken calzone from Danielle's Pizza.
You should dream better. I pray. I wish. I'll rub a genie's lamp, and I wish that your dreams get better than they are.
No,
his hopes are not that high.
Oh no, ricotta
like,
cheese.
Can you add something at least?
No, I'm sure it's a base.
Is there a beverage?
Yeah.
Even.
No bev.
That's
the hell.
Throwing that calzone straight up.
Water.
In this exact fucking thermos, right?
No, in the empty whiskey jug that I don't use on camera because then YouTube might flag it as I'm drinking.
You got to think about that nowadays.
He is drinking. Water.
You can get water intoxicated, so like, water is not safe
and
for
then
work.
you die.
Yeah. Would you rather drink 100 gallons of water in 3 hours, or drink 3 hours and 100 gallons of water?
I'd rather drink time.
Damn, you don't know the ramifications of that.
You just fucked up the space-time continuum.
You fucked it up for everybody. That's a black hole.
That's a butterfly effect, man. You don't even know what you just did.
You went back Donnie Darko style, bro. You can't do that. That's fucked up. Sorry.
Butterfly effect. Other movies of that nature.
Great answer.
Yeah,
great answer.
Now I'm hungry.
Bro, thought about eating time.
No, because you bagging on it made me think of like all the things I liked about it. And I'm like,
it's like shit. That sounds kind of good.
Yeah.
3 hours right now, sitting in this fucking 100 years would be great.
Absurd.
Okay, so another question: what shows have you been like watching and fallen in love with? Like, what has been helping you cope, audio and visual wise?
I deal with it all always. Always.
Yeah, no, I don't watch it. I make music when I have free time. I don't watch things.
Zach, you watching anything?
Yeah, I'm watching Hunter x Hunter and
Nice.
Solo Leveling every week. And then random Netflix shows to fall asleep so I don't have to listen to
Silence.
North Hollywood Symphony.
A conversation, an argument about shawty named Patricia.
Just fucking...
And crap.
You're like, yo, like,
Well, I see. I just think of it like, man, the majestic sounds of Hollywood, and then you hear just mayhem, and you're like, man, I'm glad there's that big metal gate there.
No, I'm glad they put the iron bars outside of most windows. You know what I mean? I don't got them, but I'm glad y'all do.
yeah. Smart. That's smart.
Come on, what are those scratch marks? It's just like, you remember when I said they didn't have the iron bars?
I don't have the iron bars,
I
bro.
got chased by a homeless cat the other day. Like, I was on a run, and then like I was talking about like someone that passed away, and I was like, I love that guy, and he was like, what? And like started like calling me slurs and shit, and was chasing after me. Like, he's like, you love guys? Like, it was like, what? Bro, I didn't know he was chasing me, and then I was just like, yo, his voice like isn't getting away, and I'm running, like, you know, and then like
I'm at a high speed, and his voice has not changed in
that's
volume.
what I'm saying. I'm like, yo,
It is consistent. This whole 100 meters,
dude, I dipped into an apartment complex because he was like not no like scrawny homeless guy. He was like above. He was hurling slurs at me, bro, and I was like, nah.
I forget. It's only Valley motherfuckers that really have this experience, just in general. Like from North Hollywood on, this is just normal. You know
Yeah, that's
I mean?
what I'm saying.
But so I got to Hollywood and lived there for a minute, right? But like 2 years in, I was like, bro, this is nice. This is different than the Valley, right? I haven't had to deal with, you know, a methed out tweaker. And we had the crack and the meth. So it's like the meth ones, they're strong. It's like an expert level zombie in the zombie games. They run.
I'm thinking like just Witcher potions.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like it's like you ever get fucked up by the drowned in The Witcher? That's what it feel like when you see a meth head. You know what I mean? And they'll do it for the shoelaces on your shoes because they think that it'll help them with what they're doing.
They'll do it because you're their long lost brother and they hate you. They fucking hate you. You beat them. Like they fucking.
And they'll believe that wholeheartedly. You know
bro,
what I mean?
I'm telling you, that guy, like, I was like,
bro,
he's like, you love me? Like, I like, he couldn't comprehend
not
being
what I
loved.
said.
Yeah, he was. No,
And
I
also,
just,
even
I'm
if
trying to
that's what I
pretend like I
said.
didn't do. I'm like, no, he's not talking to me, right? He's not. He's
But
get
even-
back here, and I'm like, no.
But even if that's what I said, why are you this mad about
That's
it?
what I'm saying. Like,
So it's like, for me, it's like, I was walking down towards that
Homophobia.
7-Eleven. You know this 7-Eleven. We in the same neighborhood. So I was going down Bronson, right? And I was going towards that 7-Eleven on fucking Wilton or whatever, right? On fucking Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just straight.
Wilton, Hollywood, right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Past the Tommy's, past the freeway.
Okay,
7-Eleven, right? I'm walking down, or I'm not walking. I'm on my scooter, right? So I'm just vibing the headphones in, right? And I turn around, I pass this tweaker, right? Bro was tweaking in tweak form, right? So he was like hunched to a certain degree or angle, right? And then I keep riding normal. You know what I mean? I'm not going to gawk at someone, you know, just doing drugs.
What's there to look at?
do
Yeah,
drugs,
that's
you know,
what I'm
we're
saying.
talking about. You know what I mean? But then I look back again. He right behind me. Like, and I'm pushing like just 13 miles an hour, so it's chilling right now on the scooter, right? But why are you 13 miles an hour right behind me, right?
Yeah.
And then, bro, pull out a machete. Does not break pace, speeds up. So I put my shit in gear, right? And I'm going a little faster, right? We pushing 19 miles an hour.
I'm just thinking of the robots from iRobot now. Go on.
Hey, the exact form as that. Yeah. If you could imagine that form, that's how he was running, but like
on meth.
machete in hand. So you know he was on meth. You know what I mean? Because he pulled it out real slick. Like he didn't
And
have
from
no,
a jungle region.
like, you know what I mean? He pulled it out from like, it was like a used machete, like to cut bamboo already.
He's holding. He knew what to do. He handled it well.
100%. You know what I mean?
It's not his first time handling
What
it.
do you think he trims his toenails with?
That machete, exactly. And it's a game of like fucking the knife game. You know what I mean? But with a machete in your toenails. Different vibes. Probably Brazilian at that point. I don't trust Brazilians.
Okay, so
they're too strong.
Smart.
Yeah, they're too
Pereira.
strong. Yeah, facts, bro. He's too strong. Yeah. But chasing me, right? But I'm like, okay, let me try to break off. I pull up to the 7-Eleven, right? That's how I get to 7-Eleven. He speeds over, blocks the door. Is on guard. Has his fucking just swing. And I'm like, can I? Nah. I'm not. Why am I doing this with you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, what's the dude at the 7-Eleven going like? Just another.
What
just
is
another
he gonna do? Open the door?
Yeah, they don't
like,
have guns.
He doesn't need to do anything. He's staying at the counter.
This ain't a 7-Eleven in Kentucky.
I'm outside
They're
the
just
7-Eleven.
slurping a drink, going, "I hope this doesn't get bloody."
They're just like, I hope they don't open the door.
Lock the door. Lock the door.
Like, what are they gonna? You know what I mean?
Hitting the button right now.
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go to fucking Ralph's, I guess, right? And all I wanted was like a yerba mate or some shit. You know what I mean? Trying to live my little Hollywood life. You know what I mean?
Maybe he was hired by Ralph's.
He was hired by Ralph's to get me over.
Yeah,
there,
he's
bro.
like, nah, fuck that.
So I start moving again, and bro's still guarding the door of the 7-Eleven. I don't know why he's taking claim. Like, this is his territory now, right?
No, he made his stand.
It's like Grand Theft Hollywood, where it's just that's
just one of the bosses, bro.
Yeah.
One of the many area bosses, right?
Yeah, no, that was a restricted area.
In
You
fact,
couldn't go
I
in.
was
It's
level
like,
restricted.
Yeah, it's like,
You know
if you
what I
want
mean?
to, you're gonna have to fight this guy, but
And I'm not doing that,
No,
bro. I'm
that's what
losing
I'm
all my
saying.
loot
Yeah.
right there, bro. And I have no revive
I didn't bring my
potions.
machete.
Yeah.
Why
what
did
am I
you
gonna
tell
do?
me this was
Scooter
machete
versus
night?
machete
Yeah,
is crazy, bro.
I got a machete.
Wait. It's not even done, though. It's
Oh,
not even
what?
done, though. Because I get to Ralph's, right? I get my yerba mate, and I'm like, I'm at Ralph's now. So I'm going to buy a couple other things. It's a fucking grocery store. You know what I mean? I already had to go further than 7-Eleven, which is, like, fucked up when all you wanted was a fucking drink. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me get some bacon. This is before eggs were expensive. I got the eggs. You know what I mean? Fucking, I'm waiting in line, and I see the guy at the register just, like, kind of tweaking. Like, you can tell when someone's tweaking in general. Like, bro, it's just like,
oh, the guy, the
cashier.
Damn.
The cashier is like damn near like it's borderline like Fent movements.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like fully knocked out, so it wasn't Fent. Like
Yeah.
Fent will have you fucking at a right angle at your hip. You feel me? But bro was like just like felt like he was falling in and out of like consciousness almost. But then when he was awake, he was like very like on edge and like jittery. You feel me? So I'm like, that's very indicative of like drug abuse in general.
Methamphetamine.
You know what I mean? Methamphetamines in general. You know what I mean? Fucking. And so I get there and I'm just like trying to get my shit. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, don't ask me anything. I'm like, okay. My bad. He's like, yeah, it is. You are bad. I'm like,
oh my god, fucking freak the fuck out. Like,
Bro,
fuck this. Like, I'm going to Albertsons. I gotta go another mile. Fuck this.
It's like you can't catch a break.
And then literally after getting chased by a machete-wielding vagrant, right? Like, and I was like, bro, like you got a Browning, bro? And he's like, what? You want to take it outside right now? You want to take it outside right now? And I was like, at this point, and like, mind you, like, I'm not the best and most healed person in general, right?
You're not someone who's gonna decline certain things.
What am I gonna say no to in this situation, right?
Yeah.
So me and the fucking cashier of my neighborhood fucking Ralph's walk out to the front of the fucking...
Oh, you did it. You're like, yup.
Yes, no, we squabbled in the front of the Ralph's, bro.
No, you didn't, man.
Yeah, bro.
No way.
Fucking, and the security guard had to stop me and shit.
Did you get your shit at least?
No!
No, you didn't.
No, I had to go to the Target on Sunset. I had to go to the fucking Target on Sunset, bro.
Wait, how did the fade go, though?
Oh, I just pieced that nigga up.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. I'm like...
That nigga was not...
Did he give up after a while?
He just, when I sat him down, like the first time the nigga like, you know what I mean? After getting bopped real good,
Yeah.
fucking, that's when the security guard pulled up. And I was like, okay, let me yeah, man. Yeah. I had my scooter as well. Remember,
Yeah.
I scootered here. So I still have to make sure I can scooter home. And like, you know what I mean? They take my scooter, that's bad for me.
Yeah. Then you have to fight security.
And that's happened before as well, but that's
Yeah.
a different story.
See,
I had
now,
Ralph's, different Ralph's.
and let me guess, you went to Target, you asked for help, and that person was also
Target,
a tweaker.
unfortunately, went by uneventfully, but later that day on Citizen, I got a notification of a machete-wielding vagrant that had slashed somebody's arm, right? And it was on the same block, right? And then about an hour after that, machete-wielding vagrant has stolen blue Chevrolet Malibu and then he went on like a GTA chase. I'm pretty sure it's the same dude because of the timeline.
It's gotta be.
It had to be. Like, I'm like, there's not that many machetes on Hollywood Boulevard currently.
No, not someone actively pursuing people.
You know what I mean?
They should have like done something where they like got him and the Ralph's guy to meet up, and they both take each other out.
What was that Ralph's guy like though? Like, what was he?
The Ralph's guy, like,
what was
he
his
was
build?
Just, no, very lanky. Like, it's just normal, like, cashier type build. Okay, that's generalization. The lanky cashier. You know the lanky cashier? There's one that's kind of like tall, probably has glasses, a little bit of a slouch, and is kind of slow in the way that they...
I can't believe he really said that though.
That's what I'm saying. The lanky cashier wanted to squabble with me outside. Of course I'm going to not say no. What do you want? What am I? Where am I from? What am I supposed to do here?
You're like,
I'm piecing you up right now after the day I've had.
Yeah. You're like,
You know
bro,
what I
like,
mean?
nah, this Reseda right here. I'm about to show you what's
Like,
up.
what the fuck?
I'm about to
It's
show you something.
Holly weird. That was the Holly weird feeling for me. I was like, okay, there's really people are different out here. Even the crackheads are different. They want to squabble and they have jobs. That's different. You know what I mean?
That's so crazy though that he's like, we can take it outside. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we can. We
Let's
can
go.
do that right now. Right now.
I'd like to think that the machete guy and the Ralph's guy are roommates, and they both show up at the apartment the other day. Like, man, how was your day? Fucking assholes, man.
Same dude, just fucked up both of their days, but they just have bad perspective. But also, the dude got arrested. The machete wielding Vagrant.
I hope so.
On the Citizen.
Don't you wish you had like a flare gun to shoot at him right in his face?
But the week after, there was another Citizen report of a machete wielding vagrant on the same block. So I feel like they let him out.
I think it's him.
Yeah. So he's probably still out there, honestly, haunting me. Yeah.
The glamour of Hollywood.
He's just dragging it on the concrete, just
Jason fucking Freddy shit, bro. Sparks and shit.
That's so scary though. You're like, I wonder what that guy's doing. Oh shit!
And he's chasing you. That was why when I heard your story, I was like, no, I know the exact feeling. Like when you're going like kind of fast actually, and someone's
like,
keeping
I'm
up
jogging
with you for
right now,
no
dog, and
reason.
he's like,
there's no reason for you to be at my pace other than fucking me.
he's
up
running right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And he's calling me the F word.
And he's yelling like slurs in my direction.
I was like, yo.
I'm not even any of these slurs. My
That's what I'm
identity does
saying.
not claim any of these.
I can't.
He sees every image on top of me as he's chasing me.
I can't tell people I love them. I guess.
You can't even tell people you love them around other people. Mm-mm. That's what it is.
I don't think that guy was just ready to accept love.
Or the absence of a machete in hand.
Facts. If he had the machete or knew a machete wielding vagrant, they could probably love each other.
That type of shit makes me want a gun.
Facts.
So maybe this
Legal.
one, maybe hearing my machete story will make you want a gun. I was
Yes, it will.
I was in high school and I was taking the bus from school to home, and you know how like there's that middle, how like you have people sitting on one side of the bus and then people sitting on the other, and it's like arm's reach, especially if you're facing each other.
Yeah, like the distance.
Yeah, like where it's like, oh, I could touch them without, much effort.
That's a weird statement to say out of context, though. But continue,
So my homie,
I have context.
My homie Gabriel's to the left of me, and then there's this homeless man with this big trash bag, and he's trying to talk to us, and we're just politely ignoring him, and then he pulls out this big rusty machete.
Out the trash bag?
Yes. And
out his inventory?
Right, let's play what's in the trash bag with fucking homeless Jim.
And,
like, fuck.
And again...
16-inch machete.
The thing is, like I said, we're already in arm's reach, which means we're well within machete reach.
Yeah, you're
you're
deep within machete reach. Yeah.
Yes.
He can get whatever he wanted.
Yeah,
and give you 10
And
minutes.
it's like, if I were to call any attention to this, I'm hacked in
two places, probably.
Yeah, like within a second.
He just hands it to you and pulls out another machete. He's
I want this for
You're
you.
about to have to fight for your life. And that's a superhero lore.
And
we played it cold,
machete man.
Interesting. And then we got off at the next stop because we had to hop on a different bus to get the rest of our way.
Not because he had a machete.
No.
Not why
And
if that wasn't our next stop, we would have kept going with machete. We wouldn't have waited for the next
And we
one.
probably should have told the
We
bus
didn't have
driver,
time.
hey, there's a... what should we have done? As we get off, by the way, that dude's got a machete, everyone's life is in danger.
You didn't tell him that at all, did you?
No.
You didn't care about none of those people on that. Like, there's like a kid who's like, yo. Like,
the kid is being machete threatened. Bro has machete to his head.
yeah,
Like, hey,
all because you didn't want to talk. Because you didn't want to speak.
I mean, to be fair,
he's holding the fucking.
Hey, that guy has a machete.
He has the driver to Rust Point right now, bro.
Yeah.
it was
Right now, still.
It was
A lot of people were late to work
was
and are
rusty.
traumatized.
It was rusty. Either that machete got a lot of action or not a lot of love.
No, I look. I can't hate on you for trying to avoid tetanus. That's a pretty.
But also, it's like the homie and I were introverts. What do you want us to do? Make a scene? And it might have gotten worse. Maybe if we drew attention to the machete, maybe you'd just be like, my cover's blown. Hack it, and just starts hacking away it.
Man, last time I was on the expo line, you know, the one that goes to Santa Monica?
No, they can't come through.
Bruh. I saw some guy pierce his ear.
On the expo?
On the expo. And by pierce his ear, I mean
with like a piercer. Yeah.
No, he just put the earring in like 4 different places because it wouldn't go all the way through. And then he did it, and it's just dripping blood. And then he's just like, and he's like with like this whole family, and they're like going to like the bay. They're like, did you get the fucking like the bus tickets? And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, yo, and he's just dripping blood, and he's like, yeah, like takes it out. I was all looking at it. He's just look at my ear,
family,
like looking
bro.
at it and shit.
There's
like,
some family like models where it's like tweak is so normal in the adults in the community that all of them just do not have an understanding of how to act like a normal person in society.
and he totally tried to buy my bike.
It's
He
people
was
like
like,
that.
he's like,
People
how
look
much
at
for your
someone
bike?
as
I'm like, no.
Hey, I'll give you fucking $350 right now for your bike right now. How much is it worth? $100? I'll give you $40.
I'm like, nah. I'm
Like, bro,
I want my bike.
we're on the bus. Like, this is not where transactions
Yeah, that's
go
what I'm
down.
saying. I'm like, I just saw you put the earring in your ear. Like,
It's like, how
you
much
didn't
on the
even get
bike? And
pierced
then
by
the
a
blood's
professional,
dripping
man.
off the finger.
Literally, like, hand bloody. Fucking
And the whole
earring
time I'm
in the
thinking, I'm like,
finger.
I'm like, if you touch me, I'm gonna stab you.
Like, bro, you're
this
a
time I
threat.
had my knife.
You're
This
a
time I
threat.
had my knife. I was like,
Type shit.
I'm riding my bike in Santa Monica. I'm bringing a knife that the blade is this big.
At
You know,
least.
like,
No, I feel like people are still too distant from violence to feel comfortable with protecting themselves, and that makes you a liability.
totally. Well, that's why I like training.
You have to
I'm like,
train.
you have to
You
train.
have to
Yeah,
train.
like,
You have to train, or else you're a liability to the people around you.
or else you better run. That's what I tell people. I'm like,
At least.
yeah, at least,
At
yeah.
least.
So you're not in the way.
No, but even running comes with a bit of training because you have to know to run.
yeah.
Other people will fucking dough up and freeze. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? And now you're in my way specifically.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fucked up.
And
Like,
now I
you
have to
got
worry
the-
about you if they start beating you up because you can't handle your
You
own.
got the
man.
whole
You gotta-
clique
yeah.
fucked up. It's crazy. You know what I mean?
No.
And it takes a level of like intentional thought and like being prepared for the world around you that you know is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, do it because you don't like it. You just
Do it
to
because
be
you
healthy.
don't like it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what?
Do it because you don't like it. Where's the camera? Do it because you don't like it.
So I hear you've been doing some recovery work. What's been going on with that?
What do you mean?
You were saying these.
Well, no, you the job you got, right?
Yeah.
Was it with like the drug counseling type of thing?
Oh no, that's what I was working towards. I was going to school trying to get the certification. For
Okay, yeah.
So I hadn't gotten a position or anything like that.
Oh, cool.
In that field. Fucking, I'm still working just for middle school, just doing enrichment and shit.
No,
like
but
that.
That's dope.
That's awesome. And the drug counseling, because like I'm almost 2 years sober from alcohol, and like I think that's super important. And
No,
I think
facts. We need more
especially
STDs
coming
for
in a
sure.
culture like artists where it's glorified, but also coming from the artist perspective of, hey, it's been glorified, but also has this dark side, and having that nuanced perspective of, oh yeah, you will get this change in perspective if you do it in moderation, selectively, and you have the right neurochemistry before that, because this stuff isn't for everyone. And as we've learned encountering artists, some people have their own internal mental health stuff.
Substance use disorder is not about substance. It's about the usage. Specifically and always. It's always been about the fact that different chemical processes within our body affect us. Where we build up habits. We build up dopamine deficits. You know what I mean? And that's like really where the source is. And it's not about understanding like which ones to stay away from. It's understanding how to like remove your lifestyle from one that falls into a dopamine deficit, the one that falls into a habitual nature that relies on whatever crutch or means to get by. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the situations that you don't have and that you're away from, you can only fiend. You can only fiend. That's all that's left for you in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like why it's like it's about the usage of it. It's not just about the substance. We use fucking ketamine to medicate.
Yeah.
Like actively, consistently. You know what I mean? We use it not just in a like a therapist way where you have like a psychiatrist who doses you and like you go through like a guided whatever the fuck, right? But on the fucking ambulance when you're dealing with fucking deeply
No, man, they use that shit all the time.
They use that shit consistently, right? And I have my varying feelings about that, right? About like how readily they are using it, right? But in some situations, it's necessary to utilize something like that, and you need to understand how you need to operate to remove yourself from the possibility of addiction past that. There's a different way that you need to live your life. If you have come into contact with these stimulus and catalysts that push people to dire paths, that lead them to death, that lead them to overdose, that lead them to fucking crippling fucking debt because they need to have at least this much the whole time, right? Fucking, you need to be prepared to rebuke that when it comes because you can't control if it does or not. You can't control what you're addicted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could be a person for all you fucking know. An experience. You don't choose those things. You just have to be ready to deal with and go through and grow above instead of be stifled by. You know what I mean?
A healthy, real path, like a real plan.
Facts.
You know, that's the thing. People take it to, like
all metaphysical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, like write it down. This is what you gotta do.
Like actionable steps, you know what I mean? Recovery plans.
And you gotta do it every day.
All the time.
That's why they say one day at a time, because it really is one day at a time. It's not
like,
no
on tobacco, like I told y'all I'm 15 days sober from tobacco.
Way to go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, beautiful.
And it's like, I've been smoking tobacco my whole fucking, like, smoking history. You know what I mean? And as far as blunts even, but then, like, I was deep in the mooks. I was, like, smoking, like, at least 32 mooks a day with the American Spirit Blacks going through the bong grips. I'm smoking.
You did like those American Spirits.
You know I love them shits. You know what I mean?
Well, that's also, like, when you're trying to numb it out, those are great.
They'll really feel numb once you hit them to the dome.
That's a conversation piece, too, because that cigarette lasts, like, fucking 10 minutes.
You smoked that shit for the whole time you was at the club. Yeah. You outside talking to Cassandra for way too long, right? Same cigarette the whole time, right? So it's like there's so many, like, different social nuances that led to tobacco being around, right? But for me, when I started smoking, I had like a purist approach. I really appreciated weed. And after smoking in all these various forms, I no longer have that appreciation because of what addiction did to me. And that understanding and awareness by itself fucking hurts. To know that I let myself be so thoroughly changed by a happenstance circumstance that I knew was going to happen. It's in the stats. It's chemically addictive, nicotine. Yeah. It's not like a fucking one person or another person is stronger than another about this type of addiction. There's chemical addiction as well as habitual addiction. Those are separate things. You could have you could not have an addictive personality and still be very so addicted to nicotine. Yeah. It doesn't remove you from that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I let myself go, and it tainted the shit around me. And that weed is like a very opening glance at it, but it's like fucking breakfast, bro. Don't feel right eating in the morning unless you smoke just before in the way that you had smoked previously, right? The weed doesn't even do that by itself. Yeah. It's nice. You can still eat in the morning. You're not going to not get hungry when you're not smoking. That's what I'm saying. They'll just give you the munchies, right? Tobacco, very opposite. You need all of your things that you do are necessitated by smoking before.
Or you need to smoke before or after, one of the two,
Yeah,
and you got to do it.
And you have to.
I have a
Else you
friend
won't
who
do
he
those
does.
things.
He has to.
Right?
Every meal he pulls out a clove cigarette.
Has to. And so how am I supposed to live my life intentionally if I can't even choose those types of things?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
No, that's deep, and that's real shit, and I empathize with it, except just with alcohol more so of, like, feeling like I couldn't socialize without it. I couldn't get on stage without it. And the habitual smoking thing, I'm still wrestling with that, but in my head I'm also just like, let's get alcohol out of the...
One at a time type shit.
Yeah.
And it's fair.
And just that substitute for dopamine, because there was plenty of days where it's like I was drinking instead of building something with my life. Because building all this, a lot fucking harder, but it's not... but it took time. It took patience. It took days where I didn't get any feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah, there wasn't any gratification right away.
Yeah, but it's also like I was so much... But like what you're saying with like tobacco and smoking, just like losing the love of the culture around it because you had this toxic experience. Like now if I was at a show and someone spilled a drink and I wanted to throw up just because it was smelling
right off the whiff.
Yeah, and that's another thing and to think like, oh, I wouldn't have been able to say no to 9 of those. And that change of perspective, and then seeing how drunk people are when they think they're totally fine and going, oh, that was me, oh shit, and realizing that like I take pride in being present, in being level-headed, and being reliable.
Right.
I mean, I'd always be like the most happy, fun-going life of the party, but I'm dependable and I can enjoy myself responsibly.
Right.
And yeah, that awareness is key, and it's like there have been a few times where it's like I missed drinking just because it was an excuse to meet strangers.
Right.
Just because it's like, oh,
it's a social catalyst.
Yeah, I would sit at the bar, drink slow, and just chat with the people around me. And realizing like, oh no, I abused that privilege and this potion, and now I can't enjoy it the same. Not even like, even if I were to start drinking, like, it's just my neurochemistry has changed, and I associate more negatively with it than positively.
Right. And that could be a physical thing. That neurochemistry is real, bro. That's just real.
Yeah, and I'm betting some of the physical, like, sensations are part of having gone through withdrawals 3 separate times.
Facts. No, it's the same with cigarettes for me, bro. I got so sick every fucking time, bro. When I went cold turkey every time.
Those withdrawals are no joke.
Insane, bro. Like, in like such deep flu-like symptoms, deep
in
body
the anger,
chills,
like the
bro, everything
the short
about
fuse,
it.
the shortest
You're
fuse
a
in the
different
fucking
person,
world.
and you're dying.
Oh yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Well,
and then you get your cough back because your fucking cilia and your lungs are like, we exist still. Please remove the tar. Right? Terrifying.
I don't know. I remember hearing you cough at one point, and I was just like, shit.
It's a fucked up cough in there. Yeah, now my lungs fucked, gone, fried, and I'm asthmatic, doubled up. Yeah. But we doing better nowadays. Yeah. Shout out who's sponsoring you? What's your sponsor? Shout out Yerba Mate in Argentina.
Yeah.
This is a great note to wrap up on. Do y'all have anything you want to promote?
Yes. I'd like to promote the problem. I think y'all are ignoring it. Fucking do better. You know what I mean? Try a little harder or something.
All right, where can people find you? Atlas?
Atlas_speaks or Akimbo don't care. Music coming soon. Specifically on April Fools. You'll be able to say if I'm lying or not.
Zach?
Shameless plug, 818 Reggae Soul Club. We doing reggae things, we doing soul things, and we spinning little black vinyls and making y'all dance. Instagram, 818 Reggae Soul Club. And you know, we out here doing poetry. We out here. We better bring back a lot of Valley things. Don't worry about that though. We'll let you know when the time comes. But we coming back. Just know Rosita's in the house and
tight shit.
Thank you, Shaden. Thank you, everybody. Rosita's in this motherfucker, man. Don't
for real. Bro. We outside today.
I'm Shane Kenny Comedy on all social media. You've been listening to SewBro. We're out.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Damn.